Nowadays, in any diplomatic parlays India has with any foreign power, it is customary that China is always there as the elephant in the room, as the dragon in the room. Whether India officially allows it, uh, announces it or not, doesn't matter. Friends, the same thing has happened in India Australia Virtual Summit, which took place a little while back between Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison. Here are the details, and I will be talking about the China factor, obviously. First of all, now the signs are clear that Australia is getting away from China. China is loosening its grip over Australia. Signs are also there that India may be more willing than ever before to send a subtle message to China that enough is enough. Probably the ongoing Sino-Indian military face-off in Ladakh is one of the tipping point. Now, in this summit, this is the first time the virtual summit has taken place where Indian Prime Minister has attended a virtual summit. This was forced. In any case, Scott Morrison was supposed to visit India in January 2020. But because of Australian bushfires, he had to cancel the visit. Then arrived the corona pandemic. And now the business has to go as usual. Under the current circumstances, the two sides could not have had a summit. So they hit upon this novel idea of having a virtual summit. India's first ever. Maybe Australia's also, I don't know. Now, there are three largely, I would say, points which connote, which talk about the China factor in India-Australian partnership. Strategic partnership which has been there since 2009. I will come to India-Australia strategic partnership a little while later, but let me talk about the 3 points which are China specific in today's India-Australia virtual summit. One is that the two sides have signed 7 agreements, but one of them is a crucial one. It's a landmark, historic agreement. This enables the two sides to use each other's military bases, where their military ships and military aircraft can access each other's ports and air bases for logistical purposes, for refueling purposes, for maintenance purposes. This is obviously getting too close. This partnership is really becoming too strategic for China to handle. And don't forget that Australia was one of the earliest countries to have demanded an independent international investigation into how coronavirus epidemic spread from China. Australia was one of the 116 signatory countries to that. So since then, China's relationship with Australia has been on a downslide. Now, second thing is the Malabar military exercises, which is a trilateral affair now, because India has been blocking Australia for past many years. Now it is reduced to a trilateral affair among India, Japan and US. Now, there are signs that this exercise, India has indicated that it will be open to including Australia in Malabar once again, though no formal agreement has been signed yet. But Secretary East MEA has said that MLSA has been signed, that is Military Logistics Support Agreement. So a similar agreement, when we talked about the two sides, India and Australia, using their military facilities, a similar agreement was signed between India and US also. So this Malabar, this may be the signing of MLSA with Australia may be a precursor. It's inevitably a precursor to inclusion of Australia in Malabar. Third and last, we know very well that for past 1 decade or so, Quad has been there, strategic quadrilateral. It has been an on and off thing, involving US, Japan, Australia and India. But many years back, China had induced Australia, had exerted pressure on Australia, and Australia had killed Quad virtually. The Quad has been revived. Not only revived, it is going great guns. It is being steadily upgraded at the diplomatic level. Earlier only officials were meeting, now the foreign ministers are meeting. So Australia is out of Quad as of now. But as the proximities, the strategic proximities between India and Australia grow, and as India gets more and more wary of China, there is every reason to believe that Australia will be into the Quad. Now, let me just talk about the India-Australia strategic partnership. See, both have a lot in common. Both are Westminster style democracies. Both are secular. Both are multicultural. And there is a huge Indian diaspora in Australia. Over 1 lakh students study in Australia. India is Australia's 5th largest trade partner. 2018-19 trade figures, bilateral trade figures between India and Australia showed a trade of $21 billion. 21 billion US dollars. Now, the Australian foreign policy blueprint, which was released in November 2017, has declared India as in the front ranks of Australia's international partnerships. This is very important. So, whatever is happening today, this is a work in progress for last almost 3 years. Now, we must also understand that Australia recognizes the immense potential which India proffers to it, economically, trade-wise, business-wise, and diplomatically. Now, a very important thing is CECA. This is a work in progress again. CECA is what? Comprehensive Economic Cooperation Agreement, where when the two sides started negotiations in May 2011. So far, they have held 9 rounds, but the talks collapsed. The last round had taken place in September 2015. Now, I think this time has come for CECA to be revived, CECA talks to be revived, now that India has made its position very clear that it is out of RCEP, that is a Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, which included the 10 ASEAN member states as well as Australia, China, India, Japan, New Zealand and South Korea. So, where there will be more and more focus on making the India-Australia strategic partnership more focused, more close, despite the denials from Secretary East MEA that China bit was not discussed in today's virtual summit. So friends, I, Rajiv Sharma, take your leave with these thoughts, and I hope you will like and comment on this, and you would subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.